Satnam, my friends. Yes, I have my turban on. It's my little bunny turban. And if you're listening, of course, you're not seeing this, so check the video out on YouTube to see my little bunny turban. Today, we're going to talk about the growth stage of the evolution spiral and the body, or the human power that is in your gift position. So let's have a little review. We had I actually started with the expansion stage. No, I didn't. I started with cocooning. I started with cocooning because I was in it, or I had just come out of it when I started to do this, and a lot of people that were in my field of opportunity were really needing or in the cocooning stage as well. And the cocooning stage is a great place to start because that's where your path number comes most into play. And what I mean by is a great place to start is just teaching it. You're going to start with curiosity, and you're going to continue with these stages until you get to cocooning, and then you'll go back to curiosity. So don't worry about did I skip that one? No. You're just either not there yet, or it's not time yet, or it's just you're in something else. So when I'm talking about the growth stage, this is where you've discovered a lot. You've gone through curiosity, asking the questions, this isn't it, what is? Then discovering, okay, here are some things that are maybe different than the concepts that you had agreed upon for yourself before. And now it's time to really embody those things and let yourself grow into these new discoveries so that you grow more into who you really are. Growth is a period of a lot of experimentation, and it's a period of a lot of trial and error. Discovery can be as well, but when we are in growth stage, we're really seeking to embody the things that we have been learning about and discovering in the last stage. So as far as my story goes, I basically ended it, I think, with the discovery of the yoga teacher training. I'm feeling like I finally had come home and just discovering so much about myself, how I was really wired for new things, transformation, change, and having the karma number, which corresponds a lot with discovery because you're going out and discovering new things in your environments. Well, that number for me was a 10, which is the power of leadership. It's the radiant body, but it's also the power of nobility and royal courage. And so having a karma number of this noble essence might kind of translate into you not really feeling like you're that noble, or not being able to express that within your external environments and with other people because you're afraid of conflict, or you're just afraid of shining too bright. So now we move on to growth, where we are really getting into incorporating these things we're learning into our lives. And my growth stage was absolutely so strong in Ashland, Oregon, when I left my then husband and my secure Midwestern life behind, and I moved across the country with my car and quite a number of belongings, but certainly not all of the belongings that I had had. And I chose to discover more of myself and learn more about myself and incorporate that into who I am and what I do. So Ashland, Oregon was so integral in my growth, or my choice to move there. And I didn't know really what I was going to do. I just knew that I needed something new, and I was determined to find who I really was. So I took a road trip out there, and it was fun. I stayed with my grandma the first night, a cousin the second night, and a cousin the third night, and then I got to Ashland on the fourth day. And this was just days after my sister gave birth to my first niece. So that was kind of bittersweet because I had to, leave the area. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful trip and a beautiful adventure, and I got to the place that I had lined up for myself to stay in Ashland, and I just started. I started to meet people, go out. I mean, I was alone, so I could do anything I wanted anytime. I just did whatever I kind of felt like doing. It was pretty awesome. And so, yeah, I got more involved with the community as far as I volunteered at the library for a little while. I did the art walks every week. I started to teach yoga as well, which I didn't expect to do there, actually. I had heard that Ashland was very saturated with yoga teachers and that I probably wouldn't have a place, and that's actually basically the first thing I started doing. So there's that for you. Anything is possible, right? Yeah, I went there. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I actually thought I wasn't going to stay there. I thought I'll be moving to California. I ended up not moving to California ever. I decided one day that since I'm in Ashland, I'm just going to root down and, set some roots and put myself out here and see what happened. In Ashland, the things that I did, I learned quantum healing. I think that's what it's called. I don't really use it anymore, but it's with the breath. It's very beautiful, and I suppose that I kind of instinctively add it into my healing sessions. I learned how to sing. That's huge. A woman that I actually, this was the one connection I had in Ashland, but it wasn't a real, direct connection. My lead teacher trainer in Kundalini Yoga told me when I told him that I'd be moving to Ashland, Oregon, that he had a contact for me, and he gave me this woman's number, and I think we met up once right away. But then I didn't hear from her, or she didn't hear from me for a couple years, and I lived in Oregon for 3 years. But I started to sing, I started to write songs, and that happened right after I donated all of my painting supplies to the local art center. I had oil paints and I loved to paint, but it took a lot of space and I didn't have much space anymore. It took a lot of energy, which I had a lot of, but I put it elsewhere and it was toxic. So I gave that stuff away and I said, okay, universe, what's the next phase of my creative expression? I just put that question out to the universe. The next day, I wrote a song, and I wrote so many songs in Ashland. I wrote both, lyric, melodic songs, and I also wrote melodic mantra music, which you'll hear if you do some of my Kundalini yoga videos. I'll use some of my music in those. So that was cool. Part of my growth. I experimented very tiny little bit with marijuana. I figured, well, I live in Oregon now, I gotta try it. I had never done it until I was, I think, 29 years old. Did not sit well with me. It sits very well with some. It's not my thing. Right before I left Ashland, I tried ayahuasca. I knew so many people who had just beautiful experiences with it, with the journey, with this plant medicine, and it did not sit well with me. And I realized I don't need drugs. I already see things. I don't need drugs. So, I have Kundalini Yoga, right? Definitely don't need drugs. So, that was the extent of that. But I grew a lot, and I learned who I was, and I learned what I love, and I learned how to be happy with just myself. I learned I don't need somebody else. I learned I'm all I need, which I just kind of said. And I really grew into who I am. I learned massage as well. So I had a massage school there. And honestly, the reason I wanted my massage license was because I had been a Reiki practitioner for a long time and a Thai yoga bodywork as well for a while. But in Oregon, you can't touch anybody if you're not licensed as a massage therapist. Like even hands-on Reiki, which you don't even move your hands. You know, you're not manipulating tissue. So I thought, well, I should just get a massage license then. I ended up doing that and I ended up loving it. And there's more to that story, but I don't have to go there. But let's talk about the gift number now, because this is where the connection will really start to make sense and gel in your life too. When you're in the growth stage, when you're not only discovering, but also really incorporating these new amazing things into your life and into your being. Now, your gift number is calculated by the last 2 digits of the year you were born. So mine being 1982, my gift number is 8 plus 2, which is 10. So add yours up. And if it's above 11, add those 2 numbers together to create a number that's between 1 and 11. So my gift number is also 10. And again, that is the radiant body. That is the power of leadership, the royal courage. So you can see now that having this gift of 10, meaning as a gift, I didn't have to do anything to get there or to get it. I just have this essence within me. I have royal courage. I am royally courageous. I will leave a comfortable life at the drop of a hat and head out. I just will. I have done it more than once. And I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. But it is. And same with whatever gift you have, whatever gift you've been given for this lifetime. So let's go through gift of 1. That's creativity. It's the innovator. You're super creative and you're super innovative and you're very original. And if anybody says otherwise, they're just crazy, and I guarantee nobody will. Nobody's going to look at you and say you're not creative or an innovator if your gift is 1. So when you're in growth, use that creativity. Use that innovative thinking. I once read a quote, I have no idea who said it, but it had something to do with, rather than thinking outside the box, just get rid of the box altogether. That's the 1 gift. If your gift is 2, the negative mind, that's the body. This is the power of protection. It's the power of having and keeping values and boundaries. So as you're growing, how are you keeping these values aligned with you and keeping peace as well? You're a peacekeeper, the 2s. Protective, like the mama bear. I love that image, actually, of the negative mind as being the mama bear protecting her young. So if your number is 3, if your gift number is 3, that's the positive mind. And that is the power of connection. It is the power of infinite mindset, infinity mindset. You know that all is possible. So in growth, use your power of connection between people, things, circumstances, opportunities, and use that, enjoy it, have fun with it. As you're growing, bring other people into the mix. If your gift number is 4, that is the neutral mind. And so as you're growing, you're setting a strong foundation for yourself. It's the power of neutrality. It's the power of mediation. So knowing kind of like the side of every story and what is needed to build a strong foundation and power. So use that. If your gift is 5, that's the physical body, and that is the power of teaching and sacrifice. It's a very adventurous role. So as you're growing, you're gonna probably be teaching at the same time, or figuring out how to teach what you're learning. And that's good. That's part of your purpose. And make sure you're learning for yourself and not just sharing, but actually let yourself have that lesson too, and then work it out how to best teach others. That's a beautiful gift. They're all beautiful. Let's just put that out there. If your gift is 6, that's your arc line. It's your power of projection. So as you're embodying all of these things, be very mindful of how powerful your projection is, and be that source of inspiration for other people. Inspire them to be more mindful, be more meditative, and feel their connection with the cosmos and God. If your gift is 7, that's the aura. The body is the aura, and that is the power of elevation. So, if your gift is your aura, you are natural at uplifting other people. It is just what you do. You don't even have to try. Just being you elevates others. So as you're growing, remember that. Remember that you don't have to really do anything. Just do what you love. Remember that you don't have to try to be an uplifter. You already are. And uplift yourself. Sing. Sing to uplift yourself. If your gift is 8, that is the body of, that's the pranic body, and that is the power of healing. So you're probably going to be drawn to different healing modalities and incorporating those into your life and into the lives of those you are with. And again, just like for the number 6 or the number 5, the teacher, make sure you're using these modalities to give yourself the healing too. And then, of course, there you are. And you're naturally gonna want to work in these modalities. You are very powerful. You like, your power is the force. It's power. You're an asset in any situation, especially one that needs plan and execution. So enjoy it. If your gift number is 9, that is the number of mastery. It's the subtle body and the power of mastery. It's the power of subtlety. It's the power of peace. As you're growing, you'll want to keep very mindful, and you will naturally keep very mindful of the smaller details, those subtle little intricacies that other people might miss. And you're going to be able to use that in your work out in the world. You'll be able to explain things on a level that some people can't, but it's on a level that is subtle and yet clear, so others can understand kind of the underweavings of how things work. If your gift is 10, you have royal courage. So when you are growing, be courageous about it. Remember your nobility. Keep shining. Avoid talking down to yourself, because it's not true. But be courageous in what you're growing into. And if your gift is 11, that's the command center. And it's the power, really, of unifying, of bringing individual consciousness into alignment and merging with universal consciousness. So if this is your gift, when you interact with the world, you really have a sense of interacting with the highest self of everything, the highest consciousness of everything. And as you're growing, just remember that that's who you are, and it's okay to see things differently than others. Most people are focused more on the individual consciousness. You're here to bring in that awareness of the universal consciousness. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely wonderful to be a little different. You'll find your soul tribe. We'll all find our soul tribe. Because frankly, if anybody is on a spiritual path, their purpose is becoming or is to unite themselves with universal consciousness. And therefore, it's all of our path, right? We just do it in these different forms, in different ways, which is really kind of fun. So whatever your gift number is, really enjoy it. Really take advantage of this thing that you have that you didn't even have to work for. You were just given freely. Use it, strengthen it. There's nothing wrong with strengthening your gifts, right? It's almost the easiest thing to do. And let me know what your gift number is. Join the Light of Conscience community. Join Club LC, and we'll strengthen all of these bodies and all of these powers. Be who you are, because you are so bright and so beautiful and so necessary in this world. Thank you so much. Satnam.